mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in the mystery of the body, gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near. Spirit draw near. Spirit draw near. Spirit draw near.
Good morning, beloveds, and welcome. It is such a joy to be here with you this morning. My name is Emily Richards, and I am honored to serve this community as your Director of Congregational Life. We gather to nurture our connections, seek inspiration, and embrace change. I want to begin by welcoming our special guests. We are incredibly blessed to have two Ithaca UUs. Can I claim you as Ithaca UUs? Is that okay? All right, two Ithaca UUs, that's right. Unitarian Universalist Association, also known as the UUA, President, Reverend Dr. Sofia Betancourt, and Reverend, yes. So I gotta pause for the appreciation for each of you, sorry. And Reverend Dr. Adam Robersmith. Minister of the Universalist Church of West Hartford, Connecticut, and member of the UUA Board of Trustees. Welcome home. Both of them have long and impressive resumes, which I am not going to recite this morning. Please feel free to read about them in the October newsletter or look them up online if you're curious. I know I would much rather spend our time this morning hearing from them than hearing about them. And we are honored that you have chosen to share your ministry with us this morning. All right, we have many activities this week. You can check out our website, read the weekly announce, or take a look at the slides at the beginning and end of the service this morning. Thank you to all of the donors, bidders, and many volunteers who made the wonderful dinner and auction last night happen, with a special thanks to Jane Kessler and Loretta Heinbach. So far, we have raised over $10,000, and I say so far because the auction is still going. There are several items still available. You can check them out at the auction table. You can also pick up an invoice and pay if you still need to do that, and a list of the remaining items will be sent out by listserv tomorrow. A quick note from our stewardship team: the October Stewardship Gift Campaign is approaching its goal. Thank you so much to everyone who's donated. We haven't closed our budget gap quite yet. However, there are still matching funds available that can double any donations made until this Friday. Please don't delay. Matt, with the purple hat on, will be at the stewardship table in the parlor during our coffee hour. If you are new or visiting for the first time, I invite you to fill out a yellow pew card and stop by the welcome table in the parlor after the service, right through these doors. Today is our bagel bash, so please stay and join us for bagels and spreads and coffee, of course, and a time for connection. In the spirit of intentionally gathering in community, please take a moment and switch your cell phones to silent mode. Before we light our chalice, I invite you to take a few moments to greet one another, and if you were a part of our auction last night in any way, I invite you to share how that experience moved and inspired you. If you do not wish to engage in a greeting this morning, you may cross your arms over your chest and hold them there. And friends, if you see someone sitting alone, please welcome them into conversation and community. I'm going to make you, get back up, Reverend Dr. Sofia Betancourt and Reverend Dr. Adam Robersmith to light our chalice this morning. The flaming chalice is the symbol of mystics and heretics, artists and activists, reformers and refugees, and Unitarian Universalists everywhere. Please join me in saying the chalice lighting words that you can see on your screen. We light this chalice for the warmth of love, the light of truth, and the energy of action. Thank you. Thank you. Each of the stars in the heavens is unique and individual, and yet together they form the night sky. Each of us here is unique and individual, yet together we are a congregation. Each of our congregations is unique and individual, yet together we are an association. For stars in the sky, for people in the pews, for members of our association, we give thanks. Friends, I invite you to rise, embody your spirit, and join us for our opening hymn. Now let us sing. You can find the lyrics on the screen or in your gray hymnals. You can be mic'd too.
Sing to the power of a faith within. Sing to the power of a faith within. Lift up your voice.
I'm realizing that I forgot our Side with Love collection. I'm so sorry. If anyone brought items for the Side with Love collection, I was so excited about singing together. We have baskets right there, and you can put them in the basket on your way out. All right. Friends, it's a time when I get to invite anyone who is feeling young at heart today, or who's just young, I guess, to come on up and join me on the steps for our Time for Wonder. Come on up, friends. Hi. So, it is our Halloween party upstairs today. So we get to see some pretty amazing costumes here this morning. Hi, friends. Hi, hi. All right. Who would like to open up the Wonder Box this morning? Have you opened the box recently? I feel like you have.
No, I haven't.
Do you want to come open the Wonder Box? All right. Want to open it up and see what's inside? Can you hold it up high? What is it? It's a star. Did you know that you are a star? I'm a star too. Yeah, that's right. Own it. Own it, yes. I'm a star too. In fact, you're all stars. And not just because we are made up of stardust, although that is true, but because we have a light inside of us that shines like the stars, right? So, like the stars in the sky, does anyone know what it's called, actually, when you have a group of stars together that we have decided looks like a kind of picture? Oh yeah, what's it called? A constellation. That's right. So, I love how you're just like, I'm just going to keep showing you the star. Like constellations, we come together to form a pattern that is this congregation, right? So together we form a picture and a story that is greater than ourselves, and our light shines a little bit brighter. Can I have 7 volunteers to help me this morning? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I got you. Stand up if I just pointed at you. I think I'm short one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need 1 more. You want? Yeah, all right. I need 7. All right, can I have all of you scoot that way a little bit? Do any of you have a favorite constellation?
I like Orion.
Orion, Scorpio, Aries, Taurus. I hear all the horoscope signs. Sagittarius. I really like the Big Dipper, and I'm going to have you make the Big Dipper with me today. And the reason that I like the Big Dipper, which, if you're out there, you're like, well, the Big Dipper is actually technically part of a larger constellation, Emily. Yes, I know. Because the Big Dipper points somewhere. Where does it point to? The North Star, or Polaris. And I like to think of that as a guiding light. And just like that, we have a guiding light too. Yeah, I had to stick the back out to fit it in the box, so the tip is kind of pointing out there. All right, so we're going to make our Big Dipper here. All right, are you ready? Can you be my first piece of the Big Dipper? Can you stand right here? All right, friend, can you stand right about, ooh, are you ready? Actually, you can stand right here. And then if you want to stand over here, we're going to make the cup part of the dipper first, right? All right, and then Gwen, you can be that top part. And then we need a line. You got it. Who am I missing? Come here, you get to be the last one to point at the Big Dipper. Now, I had to look at a picture of this, and interestingly, the dipper part is actually closed. So we're going to start here. Are you ready? You hold on to this? Okay. Are you ready? Do you want to hold this for me? Right here, just this part. I'm going to take this. Oh, perfect. Hi, we're going to go around you. Oh, are you ready? Just like that. Do you want to hold on to it? All right, I'm just going to loop it there. They're like, no, thank you. Here. And then we go back to Gwendolyn. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Pointing. Oh, there, in fact, you can hold this if you want. All right. Look how beautiful we are. Right? Look how beautiful we are. So friends, like I said, I love the Big Dipper because it points. It guides the way to the North Star, and it has been guiding people on this planet for thousands of years. And I think of our UU faith the same way, right? We come together and we guide one another towards love, right? We guide one another towards light and truth and our beliefs that hold us as a community, as one. So just like we are each a star, and those stars come together to form constellations or congregations, we are also part of the larger sky that is our Unitarian Universalist Association, coming together with congregations all over the country to form one community together. Friends, thank you so much for helping me with this. Can I untangle you? All right. All right, this is the time. Thank you so much. Well, I was going to say, I hope that you hold this light in your hearts as you go about your days and weeks together, remembering always that you are not alone. All right, this is the time. Oh, thank you so much. Do I get to have this back? This is the time where we're going to invite any parents or caregivers who have not yet signed your children into religious exploration to meet Madeline and the teachers in the parlor, and we're going to sing our young people out. Thank you, friends. Enjoy your Halloween party. It looks really cool up there. Looks really cool up there. Well, we'll go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, where you go, I will go. And your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. You're divine, my divine.
Good morning. In the spirit of reverence, love, and care, we take time now to bear witness to some of the joys and sorrows of our community, to share those events that call for our prayers and support, our praise and celebration. A joy. Liz Einstein and Barbara Lang both sent their thanks to everyone who made our service auction a tremendous success, especially organizers Loretta Heimbuck, Jane Kessler, the dinner team leaders Nancy and Rich Dolge, bidding trackers Emily Richards, Pam Tolbert, Brian Harrington, Jim Karpinski, and Michelle Waffner, auctioneers Aurelia Faraday and Alyssa Collins-Zinga, all the volunteers and the generous donors and bidders. It truly took a FUSIT village. You all may recall that as part of a recent service in our current theme, Cultivating Compassion, Emily asked us to think of something that we are struggling with and then write it anonymously on a piece of paper. Those papers were collected and a few were read out loud. Today, as part of Joys and Sorrows, I'm going to read a few more of these and ask that we all hold the people who shared their struggles in our hearts this morning. Right now, I am struggling with issues of health and aging, my own and my husband's. Right now, I'm struggling with infertility. Right now, I'm struggling with my granddaughter's depression. Right now, I'm struggling with the stress between my wife and daughter. Right now, I'm struggling with not being able to talk to family about politics. For those we are holding in our thoughts, in our hearts, and perhaps in our prayers, into this community, into the space of healing and hope, let us call these names out loud. And for those we're holding silently in our hearts, let us take a moment of silence. We extend loving kindness to all in our world, and let us remember to extend loving kindness to ourselves. Today, tomorrow, and beyond, let our hands be outstretched in kindness, and let us strive to keep showing up to our lives and to each other with an open heart. Love and courage to us all. Blessed be and amen.
would invite you to join with me in a period of meditation, reflection, and silence. I would invite you to find a more comfortable place in your seat, to center yourself with your breath, if that works for you, with your posture, with your mind. Let us feel our way into the places that loving kindness already lives in our bodies. Where do you locate love, kindness, support, community in yourself? If you can find even a spark of one of those things, I would encourage you to expand that sense of love, of kindness, just for a moment, even with all the stresses and strains of the world and even the day. Can we offer a bit of that care to our neighbors, to our loved ones, to this entire beloved community, to this nation, and to this world? In troubled times, may we be reminded that together we are stronger, together we are more whole, and together we can be a guiding star back to all that makes this life worth living. Let us enter into silence together, sharing that loving possibility in community.
Each week, we take an offertory to sustain the important ministries and programs of this congregation and its presence in Ithaca. Giving to the plate is important. It's a symbol of our gratitude for this service and our ongoing commitment to support the work of this church. If this is your first time here, I invite you to let the plate pass you by. Your presence is gift enough. Today's shared plate will go to support the Unitarian Universalist Association. Every dollar donated goes to supporting important initiatives that directly impact UU congregations nationwide, just like ours, including the training, support, and settlement of ministers and religious professionals, social justice efforts that reflect our values, like Side with Love, the UUA's public advocacy campaign that seeks to harness love's power to stop oppression, and the development of lifetime religious education curricula for children, young people, and adults through programs like Our Whole Lives, and much, much more. For those watching remotely, follow the instructions on the screen. For those attending in person, our ushers will pass the plate. Please join me in saying the offertory words. May these gifts bring about connection, inspiration, and engagement within these walls and beyond.
Our reading this morning comes from Clinton Lee Scott in a collection of readings from 1977 called The Promise of Spring. He starts with words by James Hilton: "You cannot judge the importance of things by the noise they make." The stars in their courses make no noise. We do not hear the grinding of gears with the turning of the earth. The reliable forces of nature are quiet forces. Dawn arrives with no blare of trumpets, and night needs no bugle blast to announce its approach. Silent forces work upon soil and seed, and the corn inaudibly unfolds. Power is not in the loudness of the thunder, but in the silence of the lightning. Truth does not need a blatant voice or tender thought, vehement speech. One does not shout, "I love you." So we begin with a question for you. What do we do when the love at the center of our faith must be louder than the voices of hate? What do we do?
And we invite you to consider this question as we're talking about everything else, in part because everything else helps us to understand what our answers to that question are too. Once upon a time, I was a Cornell student. I studied neurobiology and behavior, and a little bit of anthropology, and a little bit of literature, and I played the harp, and I became a storyteller, and I stayed in Ithaca doing all of that. And at some point along the way, this might sound like a pretty familiar story, actually, for some of you. And along the way, at some point, I thought, I might need some community. I might need some church, but I can't go to the one that I grew up in. That form of Lutheranism was not going to accept me as a queer person to be there. And so I came here. And I came to worship. And one of the very first things I got involved with after that was our anti-racism work at the time, led by Dorothy Cotton. And then, very, very quickly, I suddenly found myself the chair of the anti-racism team, and then discovered myself to be a member of the CUPS group, and then co-led that and helped with worship. And before I knew it, I was embedded here. You might not recognize me. It was 20 plus years ago. And at the time I had long hair and a full beard. But this place is where I became a UU. The Reverend Janet Shortall at Cornell was the one who did the commitment ceremony for my partner and I, and that is part of what drew me in as well. And so I was here and I was embedded, and suddenly that drive to enter the ministry that I had felt back in the church that would not have me came roaring back. And it didn't take long before I was off and gone and onto the journey that I am still living out now. It started here with you and your choice to embed me in your constellation of work and life.
Once upon a time, I was a student at Cornell.
It's true.
true, it's true. I studied botany and anthropology and the cross-cultural usage of plants as medicines and textiles, and I will not give you an entire sermon on ethnobotany, but it interests me. I got together on this beautiful land, on a beautiful campus that's just one part of that beauty, and found myself completely embedded in the sacred as it is expressed in the natural world. And I met up with other students, some on this chancel, who felt similarly. And we started the first pagan ministry that was a part of campus life in the United States. Not a club, there were lots of those, but a campus ministry. So we actually met Janet serving as chaplains on a campus simply because somebody had to. And Cornell United Religious Work made space for that. And it didn't take very long before we realized that there needed to be some grounding that was broader than just us. And we came here to this congregation that made room, welcomed some of us. It's not that a whole cabal of Cornell students came at once, but there was room here. I remember coming on a Sunday morning into church, and you were singing, "We Are a Gentle, Angry People." And my young, queer, baptized Catholic but raised unchurched self thought, this might be what community looks like. And I got to spend time here. I got to help with religious education. I got to help with the children's choir. You let me teach about religion when I had just sort of arrived. And you trusted me to do that. You resourced me to do that. I wasn't just winging it on my own. But you modeled for me why community mattered and why religious institutions, even those with walls that didn't necessarily gather under the trees, were so important for mutual aid, for relationality, for becoming the person we might become when we're influenced by others around us. You made room for me to embed here. I became a Unitarian Universalist here. And it stuns me every morning, but I am now the CEO and primary spiritual leader of our faith.
What do we do when love at the center of our faith must be louder than the voices of hate? We learned that in part by being here with you. Learning how to teach that to the kids, learning how to offer it in worship, learning what it meant to do racial justice work in a community like this one. We know that moral witness takes many forms. It's not just the people who stand on courthouse steps or make noise at the State House, though that is important, right? It's not just the people who write postcards and sign petitions and call their representatives, though that too is important. Some of it is how we live. Some of it is how we move and breathe, how we speak to one another, how we speak to ourselves and remind ourselves that we too belong, that we too have value, and that what we have to offer can make a good difference in the world. Silence is one of those ways. Silent witness standing on a street corner can be incredibly powerful. And sometimes silence isn't enough. Sometimes we have to move into speech, into loud and noisy speech. All of these things have value, meaning, and power.
Silence for me is not always about sound. I picture a stone dropping into water and the ripples that it makes, the ripples that the physicists tell us go on forever. Sometimes silence is still a disruption. Sometimes the waves go so far that we have lost view of them, but the impact we have placed into the world remains. What do we do when the love at the center of our faith must be louder than the voices of hate? Part of what we do is model that love, not in radical new ways, but in the everyday ways we have already known. Nicole Presley is our Director of Organizing Strategy at the UUA. She runs the Side with Love program, which you probably recognize, and many others, which you may not. Part of the witness that we bear at the UUA in your names, you may never see. Part of being an interconnected web of communities, of institutions, of one set of shared values, of one faith, is that we reach to the areas of need together, that the impact of the weight of our choosing and our living ripples out as it does from a stone in water. Nicole Presley tells me at these times, you might imagine this is the question asked everywhere we go. What do we do? Where do we need to be? What is most needed? I take my cue from organizers in times like these. Nicole says to lean back into your congregations and through them to the partners you already have. To be hyper-local, hyper-relational, but not in new ways. Right? The folks who have been showing up with our support for longer than long need us more than they ever have before. And we amplify our voices, our values, our impact through those relationships and that support. When you took an offering this morning specifically for the UUA, thank you for that. You are providing mutual aid to 1,100 congregations just like this one and radically different that are leaning into the world as it is right now, that are influencing the course that we are taking, that are lifting our values in the places you cannot be, but where we can be together. When silence must be louder than hate, we amplify our presence in the world.
That amplification, rolling through those waves and those ripples that never end, that continue on, perhaps smaller the more distant they go, but still continuing. Sometimes silence is actually influence. We don't know how to talk about it. We don't know how to say what we're doing. We don't know how to articulate, but that's not the most important. Sometimes it is the kindness that you have offered to one another. It is the support that you have offered to this congregation. It is the engagement of this congregation with your partners in this area. Those ripples carry forward. Those ripples have carried forward through us for decades, and we are grateful.
So I want you to hear that you've influenced the UUA more than you know. You really have. It's not just the two of us even. You keep sending leaders into the faith. So a very short story. Once upon a time, I was a seminarian coming out of the First Unitarian Society of Ithaca, New York at the time. And I went all the way to Berkeley. And when they asked me where I was grounded as a UU, I said this congregation. And I also said Central New York, because we did such powerful work with other congregations in the area. We shared religious education together. We did social events together. We bore witness for justice together. And then someone asked me about the St. Lawrence district, which I didn't know, which was okay. It was okay, and you are part of a matrix that is so much bigger than you can feel in this moment, or that we can feel in this moment. So right now it is true. I am the president of the UUA. I became a UU here. This congregation's values go all the way to the center of our faith and beyond. But I want to tell you about Devorah Greenstein, who was a Cornell professor when she left this congregation. to go to seminary and become a Unitarian Universalist minister, and she and I served at the UUA together for years. She served as our director of accessibility services. She helped us combat ableism. She helped congregations add elevators and understand better what accessibility looked like in all of its ways. I look at your own leadership right now, I don't want to speak for you. We don't know where she's going to go or whether she will stay forever, but regardless, you are putting another national leader into the world. You keep doing this. Did you know?
Back when I was a part of CUPS, there was another person here who was involved named Amy Beltane. Yes, right, okay. So, not long after I went off to seminary, Amy went off to seminary and served and became a minister and has become a spiritual director and a trainer of spiritual directors. She has gone on to her own ministry and her own service that has ripple effects, that continues on. And when we see each other, we smile and laugh and remember our CUPS days here. This is where so much started. This is where so much continues. You really, truly have changed the UUA more than you know. Amy trains spiritual directors. I'm now an adjunct professor at Meadville Lombard, one of our seminaries in Chicago, helping to train ministers. I serve on the UUA board. Your influence did that, made that possible.
So many of the ways that we support each other can't be seen. I say this to congregations across the country. Right? I see the UUA as mutual aid, as the container that allows us to do things we could never do on our own. Just like Emily said this morning, things like OWL, things like large nationwide justice efforts, things like training new ministers, things like developing religious education curriculum, things like providing people what they need to live the values that will change the course of the political troubles of this nation. Many of the ways we support each other cannot be seen. It is a kind of silence that is that of influence, of possibility, of what I would call faithfulness, of moving our shared values in the world. And I want to echo what Adam says. We would not be where we are without all of you. The lives we have led, the places of influence that continue. Here is the seedbed. Here is the stone dropped in water that still ripples to this day. And what we wanted to bring you this morning was gratitude. Gratitude for making room, gratitude for living our values, gratitude for modeling a community of stars that points to the greater good in this world.
We would not have the careers, the ministries that we have without you. We would not have the lives that we have without you. The you that continues decade after decade after decade and continues to inspire, continues to influence, continues to offer. We truly are grateful. And we truly are inspired by you. And we cannot wait to see who you send out to us next. Because we need you. We need what you have to offer, not just in this place, though certainly here too, but to the rest of our association, to the rest of the congregations that surround you, to our national leadership. Maybe there is a new UUA board member sitting among you now, or maybe one will come in next week, and the way in which you welcome them will set their course differently than it would have been otherwise, like you did with me. and like you did with Sophia.
So we want you to do more of this. Do more of this. Because the truth is also that every single one of you has a ministry. Every single one of you lifts the values of our faith. You don't actually have to be in really long 3-day board meetings in Boston, Massachusetts to influence this faith.
But don't let that discourage you from thinking about running for the board of this church or the UUA.
Yes, this is true. And we don't say this enough. If you feel a calling to bring your ministry more broadly, talk to us about it. Do it. Truly. If you take nothing else away from today, I hope you will remember that you've impacted this faith and all of its work in the world more than you know, and that we love you genuinely. And so to come home 20 years later to welcome and embrace and possibility is a treasure beyond naming. May you carry your spark forward always. Amen.
With that feeling of gratitude still living within us, I invite you to rise in body or spirit for hymn number 322, Thanks. Thanks be for these. You can find it in your gray hymnal.
Thanks be for these life's holy times, moments of grief, days of delight, triumph and failure intertwined, shaping our vision of the right. Thanks be for these, for birth and death, life in between with meaningful, holy becomes a quickened breath. We celebrate life's interval. Thanks be for these ennobling art, images welcome to our sight, music caressing ear and heart, inviting us to loftier height. Thanks be for these who question why, who noble motives to obey, those who know how to live and die, comrades who share this holy way. Thanks be for these we celebrate, sing and rejoice, our trust declare, press on our faith into our fate, bless now the destiny we share.
As you go from this place, take with you the ripples. Take with you that wonderful wave, that sound, that silence that continues from this moment and this time, that comes back to you from 20 plus years ago with our return. Take those ripples with you. And with every smile, every look, every shaken hand, every gesture of kindness, every mask worn when it's necessary, with every action you do, Send those ripples forward. You do not know where they will land. You do not know what difference they will make. But I promise you, they have an effect. Go in joy and in peace and in love. Blessed be. Amen.
We extinguish our flame this morning, but not that spark of light that lives within each of us, that carries farther than we know, shining from each of us into the heavens like stars in the sky, making a difference here and far, far beyond. Our service has ended. Let our true service now begin. You can join Laura and I in the postlude if you'd like. You can stay seated or rise, however, whatever feels good to you in the moment.
Bright morning stars are rising. Bright morning stars are rising. Bright morning stars are rising. Day is a-breaking in my soul. Bright morning stars are rising, bright morning stars are rising, bright morning stars are rising. Days are breaking in my soul. Rise up from morning slumber, rise up from morning slumber, rise up from morning slumber. Days are breaking in my soul. Rise up and hear your calling, rise up and hear your calling, rise up and hear your calling. Days are breaking in my soul. We'll build this faith together, we'll build this faith together, we'll build this faith together. Days are breaking in my soul. Bright morning stars are rising, bright morning stars are rising, bright morning stars are rising. Days are breaking in my soul. Days are breaking in my soul.
Go in peace. Actually, stay and eat bagels.